to summons heroes. You know what he does, but it seems like he gets away with it every game.
Yep.
He's very consistent. Rarely does he feed. Rarely does he throw your game. Rarely does he mess up on where he wants to farm and what items he wants to buy. If you look at this gaming lineup, I view him as kind of the rock. He is the consistent factor that's always going to give you that stable output.
Yep.
Then it means, you know, Quinn and Duracho can go a little crazy. Maybe you have a little bad death here or there, and Ace is going to pick up the slack. I think it's nice to have those kind of guys in your team.
And I think some of that consistency, and maybe consistency as a whole, as a team, comes down to that support too and just their general playstyle. I feel like their playstyle is very much like, we can let them run at us, and we will be able to respond. I mean, when you don't have stunners out of your supports, right, in some ways it is, you're not necessarily always taking the initiation.
Whoa, who
right?
says
You're
Tree's not a stunner?
I mean,
who says that?
He's an ensnarer.
You get this shard. Now you're stunning some people.
Well, that's another ensnare.
It's as good as a stun. I mean, if you look at this Aster lineup, the roots are going to be pretty nice this game, honestly.
Yeah.
These heroes get really debilitated in the fight. You kite them out, BKB goes down, triple range core Drow lineup's going to go to work, right?
Yeah.
Especially if your one save is this Tuskar. Again, I feel like so much weight of this game is on Boca right now. You have to get good saves in the fights off potentially a storm jump later. You have to make sure the initiations go your way. You have to
how
make
do you
sure
get saves but also start the fight at the same time?
There's so much here for this Tusk. And
Yeah.
Tusk is, all right, this is a cheeky play
yeah,
right
this
here.
is interesting.
They're going to split the XP three ways, though.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is great for Ace.
I mean, maybe they wanted Dream Protector to get a faster level 2.
Well, I think the upside of what they're trying to do is they're trying to shove this wave in very fast to Monet.
Yeah.
Morphling, when he loses lane equilibrium, as we have a quick pause here. When Morphling loses lane equilibrium very early in the lane, it feels pretty bad for him. He's not that great at playing super far up until he has later on some mask for health regeneration, or the Linken's build that used to go the ring, right?
Sure.
And you can kind of just walk him down the lane and right-click him. This is probably an equilibrium play here from Gaming. I kind of like it. The downside is you did split that ranged XP to 3 heroes.
Yeah.
Feels a little bad. I mean, Celery feels good about it.
yeah, he certainly does. He's going to show up to his Drow's lane and be like, what up? I got extra experience. And
also, a little extra XP going the Treant's way in a lane versus Enigma, where he's going to get cut off a little bit.
Yeah,
so maybe
that's true.
Maybe it helps him there. I don't know. It's a very cheeky play.
I mean, I think level 2, level 3 is so important to Dream Protector's success in the laning phase if he's matched up against a hard lane. And this is one of the harder ones. I'm not sure if Enigma Tusk is stronger than Enigma Tiny, but it's pretty debilitating.
It's close, yeah. If you get caught off here on the Drow, you are done, especially level 2 or 3 Eidolons. Lane is going to be super strong. Quinn is probably mad about that pause because it messed up his CS, but you know, what can you do?
Already in his head. We did get 3 bounty runs picked up for Game of Gladiators, though, so I'm sure he's at least happy with that little bit of extra gold that's going his way, which will help him get that faster bottle, which is needed in this matchup because you can see XWY is already trying to put the pressure on.
Yes, and Quinn's had a rough first wave, so he's going to bleed a lot of regen here. Really needs that bottle to come out ASAP. Still, I'm looking at the side lanes here for Aster. I think Aster need to execute these side lanes pretty well. They cannot give up bad deaths on the cores. You're going to fall too far behind on the map, especially playing versus a Nature's Prophet lineup. These early games are really important versus Hero, because if he snowballs, he starts taking your towers. Basically the ultimate map constrictor in the meta, outside of you're playing a dang strong Naga Siren match. So I would look, again, towards Ace. You want that rock in the game who's going to crumple up the map for Aster here. Give him a good laney phase, and he's going to go off to the races. Yeah. This is one of his comfort heroes, too. I mean, this guy used to play carry, so anytime you put a carry in the off lane, they generally like Nature's Prophet.
Yeah. Let's talk about the support duo for Aster, because their opener was the exact same opener. The first 3 heroes was the exact same as their last game in the group stage against Beast Coast. Enigma, Phoenix, go for the Tusk. This Pichu, a.k.a. Siamese Cat, like this Pichu Phoenix, he just seems to be obsessed with like a lot of team fight, but it does cost them their lane.
This is not a fun Phoenix lane.
No.
I would expect this safe lane for Aster to lose hard. Silencer hard counters this hero on lane. You can't really play aggressive with the dive. You just get right-click down, get your int sap. Furion's going to put Treants on you. Your Morph's going to get hit here. It's a very rough safe lane for Aster, and that's where XWI has to make up mid with it.
Yeah, he really does, Quinn.
He's going. One more Crypt Swarm?
He's going to go for it. He gets it. XWI with the first blood. And Quinn got greedy for that double CS, man, and he pays the ultimate price.
And XWY
Oh
is
no!
not even losing
He got
anything on the lane.
silenced right before the dive away, so that means Pichu's going to die as well. Oh dear.
Just misposition on this Phoenix once, you're going to pay the price. And of course, not of course, he does not feed the inch yet. You don't have the glaive up, so at least some saving grace there, but it is a tough lane for him. It's on top of the fact that, I mean, more Phoenix have no synergy on the lane, and you have to give solo XP to this Morphling as much as you can. At the same time, Phoenix is a very XP-intensive support, so you're stuck in this middle ground between, I want to leech all your XP, and I don't want to leech too much, and I can't really pull because there's treants and a silencer hitting me. It's a very tough lane for Pichu. He's going to have to hope he can make it up somewhere in that mid-game.
Yeah. He can at least get to a situation where if we get the mask on Morphling, he can go ahead and go jungle, and then we can leave the lane over to the Phoenix.
A little bit, yeah. You still have to be worried about Gaming making any rotation down there, kicking the Morph out, taking the tower. It's good that XWY is off to a start here, because he's going to need the biggest start he can get. Their DP is their only hero, can kind of stop the early aggression, make moves of their own, take early towers. Solo kill Quinn, I guess. I guess you don't need the Boboka rotation if XWY can make it happen on his own.
That's true. Put faith in his Death Prophet.
Almost caught me there.
He almost did. He's going to go for it again. Damn, XWY is just giving no relief to Quinn whatsoever. He's level 5. He's got a huge level advantage here.
Yeah, this is massive.
And this is early enough that Quinn's not going to be super happy going jungle, right? Like some Storm Series, you get to level 5. Okay, I'm going to AFK jungle until I get 6 so I can safely do it without dying. But this early, that would slow down Storm Series a lot.
No, Quinn does not like jungling anyway. Typically, you want this guy to be in the lane because lane dominance is one of his greatest strengths.
That's true.
He knows all these 1v1 matchups. Remember, they picked the Storm into DP. Quinn does know this matchup, and he's not doing too bad in terms of net worth CS.
Yeah.
That first blood obviously inflates it a lot, but he's doing okay. As long as he doesn't die again, I think Quinn will be overall a little happy with this outcome. I mean, he's not going to be happy because he died, but that's a Quinn thing. The biggest thing here is you don't want to give up another kill when DP 6 and Storm is 5, and now you take a bunch of damage on your tower.
Yeah.
And that is something Boboka can look towards because you already have 6 on XWY here. Of course, Ace is sitting at the top of the chart. This is a very nice matchup for Furion. You can sit here, out CS Morphling with the extra tree and damage. Not a lot of offlaners can offer you this type of lane pressure versus a hero with, in theory, infinite regen.
14 denies. That's pretty rough. He's actually almost keeping up with the Enigma, but they do manage to get a kill. That'll help Monet out a lot when it comes to the experience department.
That's super nice. Not to mention Pichu gets a little bit extra, right?
Yeah.
Any XP on this Phoenix lane is to die for. And now Boboka pushing towards that mid-rotation. Storm's to level 5 here. You have Exorcism. You have Catapult.
They have Catapult. It's time to pressure. And who of Gaming Gladiators is going to come over and help him out? Looks like Tofu, off that death, is going to show up, refill the bottle. Just his presence could do a lot here to stop this.
They want 6-minute rune. There's
Exo. Yeah, they're challenging already. They're going to push him back, and they do manage to get the block in with the shard onto Tofu. And they've got Pichu here as well to be able to join in, so Tofu's going to be run down pretty easily. And even better, the 6-minute rune, that power rune spawned bottom. So XWY just, get this kill, get this power rune, back to hitting the tower.
Maybe the one upside here is it's not Quinn dying. You get someone else to tank that for you. And the Catapult dies in the meantime, so that'll give him the level 6 here. Now
Super important.
He's eliminated the threat. Of course, you are going to get half tier 1 damage here. It's not that bad for your first Exorcism. And again, you're getting a little extra XP on supports. Your side lanes get solo XP. This is what Aster kind of won here, as long as nothing is getting fed away. Decent value out of the rotation. Not some chain feed they were hoping for on Quinn, but
sure,
can only ask for so much.
And you're going to lose some of those opportunities with Nature's Prophet getting level 6, because now, any aggressive move could be met with the Nature's Wrath teleport, which is going to be scary. But if they can get a kill on Tarantio, that'd be super nice. But he already got up the Gust, so he just pushes away the Tusk and heads back to the jungle.
That is the X factor you have to consider on these aggressive moves by Boboka. You have this Furion that can come in. You have Silencer who's going to have some counter initiation. Tree can armor somebody. These dives are going to be difficult. You can't overextend. You can't overextend on these tower pushes, especially when you commit the Death Prophet to them. You have to be careful and you have to play it smart, or else Ace is going to punish you very hard. He doesn't even have to come to the fight necessarily. You can be killing your bottom tier 1, just ult. Maybe it wins you the fight.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the MOs of Nature's Prophets right now aren't actually using that teleport. They're like, I'll do Nature's Wrath, but I'm going to split push for the most part. Duraccio pushing back the Enigma. XXS is going to be able to catch up to him, hit him with the Malphys, but they have lead seed and they have multiple TPs coming in. So Bobica is definitely going to die for this one. He falls, Duraccio stays alive, but they've moved all of their heroes up here.
I guess you baited out those ults. That's one way to look at it.
Yeah. Quinn
rune
goes back in. Open for the power rune, uses all of his mana. He's going to make a run for it. It's an illusion rune that'll help him get rid of the fire spirits as well and start battling up. A slowdown from Tofu with that curse, and Quinn's just going to be perfectly fine.
Not the worst outcome to get that first Wrath of Nature out and you get the double TP. Again, you have to be very careful on these overcommittals for Aster. And now you get space somewhere else, which is bottom. Baboka with the fast TP. Gonna secure this ace kill. Yeah, this is huge. Now your Morphling's in a very good position, right? He did not go Mask. He did not go any region item. He's going Falcon Blade, and he's been able to stay on this lane. Not to mention you're killing a level 6.5 hero.
Why not go the Mask and why the Falcon? What's the concept behind going Falcon Blade then?
I mean, Falcon Blade's the meta. Don't question the meta, Cap.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I cannot really
Honestly,
disrespect
I haven't
that.
seen a lot of these morphs going early ringer mask. Seems like just the extra regen from the tower, flag bearers, give it a couple tangos from the support is enough.
Yeah, those 5 positions just feeding you tangos nonstop.
Yeah, so if you get away with this build, it is more efficient.
Sure.
And he's been getting away with it.
Well,
maybe it also speaks to how much Tofu is brought up the lane too, right?
Sure.
Let's say Silencer can just stay down there and pressure this morph with Ace. Maybe you're going to force a bit more regen out of Monet, but Tofu had to TP mid and tank the gank for Quinn. He had the TP top, secured that, then he got stuck in a mid rune fight skirmish. Silencer's been active, and now you're going to have to give him mid XP so he can get to his ult. As you were saying, this support duo for Gaming Gladiators a little clunky, which means you're going to have to prioritize their levels at some point. It's going to happen now. The downside is you're giving some breathing room to Aster, where early game was perhaps their slowest point, and now XWI.
Breathing room for Aster, but they're going to look to choke out Aces. They will manage to get the snowball on him. Celery's going to show up. Can they get anything out of this? Celery hiding away in the trees. Tofu's here as well. From a distance, they can get a decent amount of damage on Bobica and maybe get this kill inside of the tower range. Look at XWI. He tanked it for Bobica to allow Bobica to cut over the side and TP out. Now they go back in. Nice team play from Aster there to ensure no losses.
Juggle that aggro.
Invis rune from Quinn, though, could do a lot, so it's good that XWI didn't get too greedy. Backs away, doesn't try and use the exorcism to its full extent, heads back to mid.
Now you get some counterplay if you're gaming, though. Again, that's Exo down, you don't get a tower. Time to perhaps be aggressive here with the next Furion ult. You have Quinn lurking around, looking for something. Generally, you want to get at least a couple kills in this first 10 to 50 minutes with Storm so he gets some extra XP on the map. Especially if he has to give up mid to a Silencer.
That was a close call. Quinn could have grabbed him mid-dive, and that would be a dead Pichu, but okay for now. But they got to deal with mid.
I feel like Aster's playing this early game pretty clean.
Yeah.
Again, this is a pretty slow early game lineup, so as long as you're not feeding away too many kills, you're getting the levels on your heroes. XWI can keep powering through. I mean, they're just taking mid without Exo here.
Yeah, what's going on? Gaming Gladiators, I thought surely they would fight for this.
I think they could have. They have level 8 Drow can come to that fight too. They have living armor. Silencer globals up. Storm with full resources and Wrath off cooldown. Is that not the fight you want to take here if you're gaming?
Apparently not. Gaming Gladiators would rather trade. And I guess, you know, if you're just content with trying to chill out, farm, and hit that Aghanim Scepter timing on the Nature's Prophet, that'll be a little bit better. But we're going to see Aster keep up that pace. They still haven't had to use the egg, so it's still a tool to be used. XWI will help XXS. Just his presence here will help the Eidolons take the tower. The living armor is just really not benefiting at all. Gaming Gladiators, they're maybe slowing it down a bit, but if the tower still dies before 15 minutes,
yeah, and this is max living armor. I don't like to give up these tier 1s without a single fight. I think that's where Treant shines, too.
Yeah.
You bait the overextension from Aster, you get a good overgrowth into Wrath and a global before any of these Dispels or BKBs are out. These are the fights I think gaming should be happy to take. It's also the way you can get Storm accelerated in this game because Quinn is sitting down there and he's not going to have a huge amount of space on this map, especially the way this team operates. Their side laners are very farm heavy. If he's not involved in the skirmishes or the fights, it's easy for Quinn to fall behind on a hero like Storm, who doesn't naturally shove the waves out like a Shrek or a Pango will, which is generally what he's been playing.
Normally, when I think that teams are being a little bit scared to fight, I think it's a sign of nerves, right? I mean, we're here on land right now. There's a big crowd. They've had to wait a while to be able to get the tech issues solved. Maybe it's just the fact that Gaming Gladiators, a little bit nervous, don't necessarily want to take a team fight that, could just blow open the game for Aster if it goes wrong.
It's definitely true, but this team fight for Aster only gets stronger. You're talking about Silence or Tree. Another downside is the Dispel's Dispel immunity makes his support duo a lot weaker. And you're going to have a Greaves on Enigma. You're going to eventually get to some Dispel item on XWI. He's opting just for BKB Rush here. Pretty interesting. I kind of like it. There's not a lot that's going to punch through this. If he just gets BKB into an armor item, especially, BKB Shiva's Death Prophet this game is a menace.
Yeah. Global Silence going to be used because Quinn ran up into the high ground there, but did they chain the silence? I think that was not a whole lot of silence there. Meanwhile, they're fighting up in the top lane, and Ace is going to show up for this. XXS blocked in after the midnight pulse, but they're going to start backing away from XWI he's going to be slowed down by Celery. Dorachi does manage to finish off Bulbaca, so we're going to have a trade-off of supports here. With the Exorcism used, I feel like in some ways that was really great for Gaming Gladiators because they already lost that tower. So what's that Exorcism going to do?
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they lost that tower before they had to take that fight.
True, true.
Still, they get out of there with minimal casualties. However, you do have Global down. You have that Tree ult down. At least Ags up for Ace means this Wrath of Nature is on that 60-second cooldown. That's where this hero shines. That's why he's been picked so much.
Yeah.
Monet getting involved, pretty nice for Aster here. He's going to get some extra golden XP on this Warflame, who is, again, just going Manta first. So you are going to have triple Dispel first items here for Aster. It's going to help them take these early fights a lot. And the big question for them is, when do you do this Roshan? Is level 2 Exo plus the triple Dispel enough to force it? This is what this lineup's designed to do.
Yeah.
You don't want to get split on the map too much here if you're Aster, because the second one of you gets picked off by this Furion Storm combo, you're going to lose a lot of space.
Dispel is insanely valued to this game. Multiple silences, multiple ensnares.
You want as many as you can get.
Yeah.
And
nice little ancient stack going on here, though.
Yeah, but look who's taking it. It's Quinn, right?
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been able to find anything else in this game.
So he kind of needs to keep his farm going. If he had found kills, you're saying this would have been the Drow Rangers farm, right?
Yeah, you'd rather have Quinn killing heroes than ancients.
Sure. He's going to try and complete his Witchblade off of this ancient stack. So maybe they'll feel like that damage will put them over the line. Meanwhile, Dorachi and Celery, really interesting that they still hang out here without a tower. I can't help but feeling like part of that is Nature's Prophet. Being this far forward without having a tower to TP to is super dangerous for a carry. But if you have a global hero like Nature's Prophet, and if Celery can just run interference, then maybe it's really good.
I mean, they have two global heroes. He already has a Hurricane Pike. And again, going back to this Aster draft, normally it'd be scary, but who is catching him? It's Tusk with a shard. That's
true.
it. There is no other jump or stun in this game. So you have a Hurricane Pike, you're invincible. He's a god.
Tofu is far from invincible, but the Tumbler Stoic gets him over the shard. Now that's just baited in Bulbaca. Silence goes out, but they don't need any spells to finish off Bulbaca. Beautiful bait from Tofu. Gets off the Tumbler Stoic just in time after the damage was taken.
Maybe Bulbaca just getting a little too anxious in this game. Has to recognize they have to get to these big items on their cores before they're going to take the head-on fight.
Yeah.
The skirmish is a bit difficult, and now Gaming maybe recognizing what I was looking at, which is I think they're pretty strong right now. This is when you want to fight with your spells before those first round of items come out for Aster and get Quinn involved more than just the ancient stack. Pretty good ward. Free jump.
Pichu had just de-warded that. He threw the Fire Spirits over there. He does manage to get off the egg, though. They're going to turn around and kill it. That's not a problem. But Monet is going to try and take advantage of this by turning it into Charge Rate, but now he's locked in and he gets blown up. Where was the backup for Monet? He fought for his support's life, but nobody else was willing to. XXS seemed to be a little bit too far away, and XWY, well, he was leagues away. Awkward fight there. feel bad for Pichu, who used the Fire Spirits to get vision on the high ground. He dropped a sentry on the low ground. Fire Spirits would give you temporary vision for the high ground, so he checked that cliff, but then immediately afterwards, Game and Gladiators dropped the wards. If he did that like a second later, maybe he sees a ward and he goes, oh, time to leave.
Yeah, maybe you get the earlier dive out, and then that fight looks very different. Still, we're going to see the power of this global be really annoying for these heroes in the committal team fight. Sure, you wait for him in, and now you're just stuck. Stuck not even in morph. You're stuck in another hero's body.
And Manta going to be even more delayed, so these silences and ensnares are even more powerful. And Game of Gladiators, top 3 heroes in that network chart.
And I think gaming's pretty happy scaling in the foreseeable future. Maybe 60, 70 minutes with refreshers on this black hole and stuff, it becomes a little annoying. But honestly, I think these drought lineups are very tough for Enigma to fight into. You just get outranged. You're not offering much in terms of spell capability. You're not going some early blink BKB, and you're not going to hit a big black hole even if you do. You're just kind of waddling in here with this Aster lineup, and you're letting gaming get to these big damage items on all 3 of their cores.
And now they're actually evening out the tower advantage. As this mid tower looks to be falling, Aster are not going to fight for it.
I think XWY had a good early game here. He definitely created some pressure, but you haven't been able to capitalize on it.
No.
You're still stuck behind your tier 2 at 15, at 18, going 20 here. And where is the catch? Are you doing anything to this Hurricane Pike Drow? Doing anything to this tanky Furion who's going to have the Agi from the Drow aura with living armor on top? Remember, there's a lot of buffs for this Gaming Gladiators lineup. You have to commit in to deal with the buffs. And
not having catch, the enemy team having better late game, and them having global split push pressure off of Nature's Prophet, this is beginning to feel like they just don't have a solution. I feel like that is a puzzle that can only be solved by winning the early game and snowballing, right? And getting early Roshans and you know, like stacking that, but because they're not ahead, they can't take Roshan confidently.
Roshan helping you scale into the late game where you have the catch is the answer here for Aster. And this is, there's no other play here. You have to force it with the level 2 EXO and BKB on your Death Prophet. She's not going to have a stronger timing for the next 10 minutes here until the second item, which is going to be super slow if you don't get this.
Which is a huge opportunity for Gaming Gladiators if they take this fight, and it's good. It's going to be a disaster for Aster. They get the initiation on a Bulba Cup, but at the same time, Stormseer in comes trouble. He gets off the attack, but he dies instead. The XWY with the BKB timing pushes back Gaming Gladiators. A jump forward from Monet is going to be able to catch Celery as well. And oh no, 3 of them stacked up, and XWY is feasting on some heroes. Gets pushed away by the Gus. That Spirit Siphon is going to be able to break. Hurricane Pike pushes him away. XWY has got to be careful of that damage. A lot of Frostbite, but he lives. They don't get Roshan, but they do get a good engagement out of it.
I don't know if that's good enough, though. Sure, you get the Storm kill, but the lead just increased there for gaming.
Did it really?
Because this Furion just farms waves while this fight's happening, and you're not getting Roshan, and now Exo's on cooldown. What stops gaming from just taking the pit? No black hole? Or you have black hole, but no Exo, no egg? Monet has no ult as well. That was him joining the fight, getting a Storm pull off there to try and kill the Treant.
Yeah.
You're lucky you catch Quinn there with a Malefice into silence. Otherwise, that fight doesn't even necessarily go as well as it did for you. I would not be surprised to see gaming make an aggressive move here, try and just take Roshan for themselves. They can even scout the triangle with Treants. And yeah, here it is. Jump anything here if you're Quinn.
Taking Roshan themselves, that would be a huge game-winning move, but it does come with certain risks, right? I mean
we're only the black hole, though.
Ultimates, but I mean, even just taking Roshan is maybe a little dangerous, but they're going to try for it. Shard is going to be disruptive. Fire Spirits are going to be annoying. Maybe they have to
too annoying. Still, I think gaming would have been really happy if Aster took that bait.
Oh, yeah.
They want the fight more than Roshan here. I don't think they care about the Aegis. I mean, Aegis on Quinn is super nice, but if they ever get a fight where Aster don't have their big ults, that's when they're super happy.
Yeah.
Because you're not winning that. We see the power of this Drow. There's just no gap close. You're going to need a lot more items on your Enigma, a lot more on DP. There's one gap close, so Blink for XXS is coming in, and perhaps at a very timely point because gaming are smoking on you. You're going to need a big black hole at some point in this game.
If this was to break on like XWY, who I think is maybe tanky enough to survive, XXS could be set up for a dream black hole.
That is the dream. Have him tank it, see everybody use this DP BKB. They don't really have another natural frontliner in this game until Monet is super strong. Gaming don't find anything, don't want to overextend into the high ground triangle, and again, they will force the Roshan. It's dying very fast here. You got to scout this.
They're smoked up on Aster. They know, but they're not going to be able to get there in time. And now the Aegis is picked up by the Storm Turret. He's going to zip in. Quinn immediately getting the initiation on Bulbica once again. Going to drag him into the mid. Bulbica is stuck. He's caught. Aster are going to start retreating, but Pichu can't get out because of that silence from Tofu. A little bit more. XWY going to pop the Exorcism.
This is not the fight, though.
No, it's not.
Already 2 dead. Global seals Baboka's fate. And Quinn just gets the free follow-up. Of course, he can play really aggressive now because he has that Aegis. You want to commit ults for this Storm? Sure, I'll take the fight afterwards. And now, Aegis to Storm Spirit in this game, absolutely deadly. Sure, he's low on the net worth chart, but it doesn't matter if he can just jump into your ults and bait all the spells out. And this is why I said that earlier Roshan go from Aster was not good enough, not even close.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about now. Rough team fight. An Arcane Rune found for Quinn with an Aegis.
Oh, come on,
man. I don't think they necessarily need to be, taking fights right now, but you are heavily incentivized to do so. You are extremely powerful on Quinn.
Honestly, we had those 40,000 accounts banned for cheating.
Yeah.
I was surprised I didn't see Quinn in those, because this guy...
for spotting runes to his advantage.
Yeah, this guy's got a rune hack going,
yeah.
I swear.
The funniest thing is he's probably the one who complains the most about runes. Nice silence timing there from XWY.
You know why he complains? When he has normal rune luck, that's when he complains. In the rest of
I only got
world,
50% of the runes.
Yeah, I only got 4 double damages instead of 10.
Pichu stuck here without an Anchor's Dive, so Quinn commits and gets the egg out of him. Really nicely played. Nice shard, though, from Bulbica. I don't know if they feel good about chasing after him, though.
How do you take these fights if you're Aster? You can't black hole anything. There's global and overgrowth. Duracchio's just running up and poking you here, saying, what are you going to do about it? I don't even have the Aegis. You're not going to be able to play the map versus Storm and Furion. The pickoff can be really high. You can even get Blink or Shard on Celery here and help your pickoff even more, which he's going Blink. It'll help the team fight, some extra catch.
You're talking about the Drow Ranger synergy with this lineup. Drow Ranger Furion, I think is super scary when you get Furion to BKB. Because then you got this guy who is magic immune and he's getting the extra armor when he already has the same stats. Quinn trying to jump in after that.
These are all just free though, right?
But it is.
It's so free for gaming here. They don't even have to hit anything. You're still corralling Aster on the map. Ace is always going to farm your side of the map or the other lane, so you never fall behind economically. And yeah, you were talking about that BKB on Furion. He has it. So he has BKB. He's spell immune. He gets the Drow Agi armor. Man, this Ace... Can't ask for anything more on the Storm Spirit. Putting them hacks to good.
Dire are scanning.
Snowball going out, the Shard looking to be able to catch somebody. Still Duracchio, he's perfectly healthy. XWY tries to run after him, but he goes back to the rest of his team, but now he's going to be caught. Oh, Zeller, great positioning, and XWY from a distance is going to get blown apart. The Nature's Prophet Drow Ranger is not to be trifled with. You either all in commit, or you get the hell out of there. They went for a 50-50, and it was terrible.
You cannot go halfway, as you said. And again, are we going to see a black hole this game? Is it possible? You may as well black hole something at this point. You don't have to use global in these fights if you're gaming. XXS has no game here, and this is how you punish Enigma. Make the black hole hard to use. Sure, he has an okay lane. He didn't even win it, though. 3 range scores can always split the fight. Storm's in the back. Ace is jumping somebody else off a route. Duracchio's the front line somehow, and you can't even go on him still. Again, the lack of catch here for this Aster lineup really hurting them in these engagements, and their team fight just can't get put to work.
Thought he was going to jump Pichu there, instead goes for Monet. Not even necessarily, oh, we need this kill or anything like that. Just, take him out. Make sure he doesn't get a chance to push out that bottom lane.
Quinn can jump whatever he wants.
Yeah.
There is no punish. He didn't even go BKB in this game on Storm.
No, he went Sanj Kaya, right?
Yeah, so he's just going for extra status resist into Hex here. He feels like the extra BKB scale is going to be picked up by his 2 other cores anyway. And yeah, the camp stack, the economy. There's a reason gaming has a net worth lead at this point. It shows. And the way back is not very clear.
No.
You got to get Monet on top of Dyrachyo and kill him through Treant Armor, through a global.
Sounds unlikely.
I wish you the best.
And all that time, like, take that much time to kill one core. Nature's Prophet and Storm Spirit are still doing plenty of damage as well. So,
I mean, XWY went Witchblade. This is, honestly, I don't think you can afford to go Witchblade in this game. I think you need Blink Shiva's minimum before the fights even start to resemble something in your favor.
yeah, you're going to try and outrange.
You're not
right-click
outright clicking
and
anybody here.
Nature's
I
Prophet?
promise you, you are not outright clicking anybody. Maybe the one rationale here is he feels like the armor is just way too high for gaming. How are you ever killing any of these heroes when they all have 40 armor? I agree with that sentiment. You know, in a very far away world, if you get the brooch, it's pretty decent value. But I don't know if you're getting there. I don't know if you're ever getting there on XWY. Bloodthorn, I mean, I don't know. This Witchblade just seems way too greedy, and I don't think it's going to pay off in time. I don't think you're going to get to the late game here if you're Aster. You're getting kited.
I mean, at this point in time, late game is kind of their only hope, right?
Sure, but at this point, they're going to get to late game and be 40,000 gold behind.
Sure.
And by that, I mean in another 15 minutes here.
Blink Dagger soon for Celery. That's going to be a huge pickup. Meanwhile, items are just missing for Aster. Still trying to get a Scotty on Morphling. Doesn't compare.
There's a lot missing. The problem is you can buy survivability on Aster, but it's not winning you this game. Staying alive is not good enough. Gaming do not have big committal spells. It's not as if you wear down their ults, you're happy to take the fight. It's the right click that's going to slay you here. This is a Drow lineup. Have to be able to match them toe for toe at some point.
Well, looks like their game plan is to wait Game and Gladiators making a mistake on high ground, or try and smoke out and contest Roshan. Game and Gladiators, of course, very relaxing game for them. They're just hanging out, farming, and then eventually they're going to be able to take that second Roshan.
I mean, they're smoking the triangle across map to try and close out that area. Aster isn't even there.
No.
They already closed it out. They don't know, of course, but there's no one to find on this map. So here's the desperation 5-man smoke. If this fails, you probably looking at game 2. You got to find a good core kill here into some semblance of map control.
He tried to go up to that top tower.
Of course,
But
Quinn has another arcane rune. Though that said, this game he has had full rune control, right? So he's eventually going to get something good. I'll still make fun of him for it, though.
well, that's your right.
I mean, the only cooldown that this arcane rune might be helping at this point is that game clock. This game could end in the next 5 minutes here. Especially if you take a fight into a high ground ward here.
Check the high ground. They see the ward. Bulbaca's already been caught, though. Quinn has just been making sure Bulbaca has no game. Their initiation is gone. So now XWY, well, he's going to be caught as well. Caught inside the Sprouts. Immediately overgrowth after the BKB, which is perfect. XWY is going to try and Spirit Siphon heal himself. Over to the side, they do have the Supernova. Dyrachyo going to go for the dieback death onto Bulbaca and then try and kill the egg. A little bit too much for that, but who cares if the egg explodes? Quinn's going to be able to catch him before he dives away.
Just too easy. Honestly, these goes are, they feel casual almost.
Oh yeah, and it was a very fast Roshan. So with the dieback, let's just go ahead and take Roshan, shall we? 30 seconds left on the Aster supports.
Storm jumps, he pulls somebody, Drow kills him. Storm doesn't even have to commit. There's no counter initiation here that can come out. What's the counterplay to this? You have to jump them, right? Again, you don't have the blink on Death Prophet. Monet finally finishes Scotty here. Starting to get some damage on this Morphling. Still, it's all physical, and you're doing physical into an insanely high armor lineup that now has another Aegis.
They got all their
Shard
20
well.
talents coming in, the multi-shot damage, the Sprout leash.
This is just an impossible fight. You're going to have to hope for the high ground throw.
Hey, sorry to ask you this, you know, in the playoffs and everything. Do you know how Overload Shard works with Drow Ranger's multi-shot?
It should not proc it.
You don't
That's what
think
you're
so?
asking. No, I don't think so.
If it did,
If it procs
like
it, it's only going to proc it once.
yeah.
There's no way it's working on the multi-shot hit.
I'm just
so.
more so saying this multi-shot is already like almost killing like you add in just a little bit of extra damage on top of that, it's going to be terrible.
They gave the Aegis to Duracio's time.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's going to hit high ground, right?
Yeah, that's your siege mechanism. Makes Quinn's life a little harder since he didn't go the BKB, but again, he doesn't have to commit on any of the jumps. He can just ult Hex, ult pull, run away instantly, has another Arcane Rune.
Bobica is so poor. Tuskags might be able to, help you hold this high ground against an insurmountable lead, basically. But they do smoke out, catch Celery, but they don't kill him, and the Overgrowth goes down. They get the Black Hole until the Supernova immediately denied by the Global Silence. But the Supernova does survive as a result. And XWY sticking on to Duraccio. Duraccio pushes them away, though, and XWY couldn't commit. He was pushed too far away, and Quinn recommits back in. Duraccio's going to help them run down, and that is it. An absolute stomp for Game and Gladiators over Aster in this game 1.